Good evening and welcome to Poland for some European Northern Basketball League quarterfinal series. We are in the building. Warsaw, to be exact, home of the Legia Warszawa. Warsaw, in English, against the CSO.
ENBLeague. Ice in the veins. Ice in the veins. ENBLeague. Ice in the veins. Ice in the veins. Ice in the veins.
Good evening and welcome to Poland for some European Northern Basketball League quarterfinal series. The location, Bamova, home of Legia Warszawa, pronounced Warsaw in English, as they host the visitors, CSO VOLUNTARI, and we have playoff basketball. 2 versus 3, and if you're new to the competition, the ENBL is a combined 18 teams split off into 2 groups, Group A, Group B, where the teams play in a round robin, a combined 8 games, and we take the top 4 from each group. And that's how we are here. 2 versus 3 matchup. CSO Voluntari being the number 2 seed at 6-2, and the home team, Legia Warszawa, being a 3rd seed at 6-2 in Group B. This playoff series is played as an aggregate, which means home and away. So the second game of this matchup will be March 18th, back in Romania. So we have 80 minutes of playoff basketball coming at you live on YouTube. And as we talk, it's the playoffs. Whatever's happened before is completely irrelevant. It's a fresh start for both teams. And again, anything can happen. All you got to do is look across town where we have another game live, where Ziki are seconds away for pulling off the upset, 95-74 against Bamberg, as that game is wrapping up. But this is what it's all about. This is what you play for. This is what all the training is about. All the hard work in the offseason is for this moment, the playoffs. And that game is official. It has wrapped up across town. Ziki comes off on top against Bamberg, a big 20-point win. Wow. Bamberg has some work to do in game 2. With that game will be on March 19th, but the focus is here. We have the visitors, CSO Voluntari. Been terrific throughout the group, as I mentioned before. Runners up in Group A, as the Newcastle Eagles won out that group. But some things to keep your eye on for today's matchup is, how does Legia Warszawa slow down the offensive juggernaut of CSO Voluntari, who are the number 1 scoring team in the ENBL at 97.3 points a game. And the points is distributed evenly. You got 4 guys in double figures. Lewis Sullivan, 16.8 points a game. Justin Etler Davis at 14.1. Cody Justice, the sharpshooter, at 11.9. And Michael Caffey at 11 points. One thing that you cannot do at home is you cannot give up 97 points on your home floor if you have any dreams, aspirations, goals of making it to the Final Four. As we have our player announcements. Excuse me, national anthem, please. Let's get ready to rumble, ladies and gentlemen. And speaking of the Final Four, this is the quarterfinals that combine 8 teams. And look at this. What a season we have had in the ENBL. We have 8 teams from 7 countries that make up this playoff quarterfinal, from Denmark, Germany, Latvia, Poland, Romania, Slovakia, and the United Kingdom. 5 of those teams making their first playoff appearance. But which 4 teams will be making it to the Final Four? Which that competition will be played at a neutral site, to be confirmed after we wrap up the quarterfinals. Tuesday, April 8th, Wednesday, April 9th. Make sure you circle that on your calendars. And see who comes out on top. The home team beginning to fill up the building, and maybe we'll have some Zeke fans come across town to get the double action today. I'm sure those fans are feeling blissful after a 20-plus win against the Bamberg. Your referees, you see it there. It's getting that time of year. Playoff basketball, nothing more exciting than that. The visitors, CSO VOLUNTARI. I'm sure that fan base is locked in and glued to their team. They were runners-up last season in this competition. Can they take it a step further this year and lift the trophy? They should be coming into this building full of confidence off the back of winning the Romanian Cup just 3 weeks ago. And a lot of questions for the home team. How comfortable will they be with their new head coach, Heiko Romulia, who just took over last week? That's something to keep an eye on. Coaching changes in the middle of the season can always be tricky for players. How will the home team handle it when all the chips are in the middle of the table for playoff basketball? You see the flags there. Fans on their feet, singing with pride. And we are a minute away from tip-off. Both teams, 2 great ball clubs. You're looking at 2 teams who love to share the rock. CSO VOLUNTARI, number 2 in the league in assists. And Legia Warszawa right behind them at 21.5. So we have some beautiful basketball that will be on display. And your starters for VOLUNTARI: Mike Caffey, Etler Davis, the big fella, Alex Ola, Lewis Skinner, and the sharpshooter Cody Justice. For your home team, representing Katy, Texas, Cameron McGusty, Andre Pluta, Salines, Mikael Kalinda, and EJ Onu. Buckle up your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. We got playoff basketball. Game number 3. Make sure you subscribe to the ENBL YouTube channel for all of your playoff basketball action. Our referees of the night: Vladimir Zenev from Bulgaria, Mikhail Sosin from Poland, and Vlad Theokotrobas from Romania. Onu and Ola for the tip and Platas as Legia strikes first. Kolinda over the top. Ready to take the roof down with that one. Great defense by Voluntari. Caffey skips it over to Justice. Gets in the paint. Nice pass. Big fella. And the road team strikes first. Big time shot there by Alex Ola. Can't stretch the floor from that range, but you'll see him busy in the night in the paint, sealing and posting. 2-0 here, 9:26 remaining. If you're just joining us, welcome to Poland. 2 versus 3 in the ENBL quarterfinals as Plato stumbles, and we'll have a baseline out of bounds with a fresh 14-second shot clock. Take another look at that. Off the foot of the defender. Onu. In a ball screen action with McGusty. Gets tipped up. And Etler Davis swings on the rim for 2. And the visitors with a dream start. Home team offense not looking as fluid. As I mentioned before, new head coach just came in last week. But Onu gets fouled, and he'll head to the line to shoot 2. Nice little pocket pass there from Plata. Keep your eyes on him. Unlimited range. No conscious from the point guard position. Onu, 6'11" out of Ohio, has only played 2 games so far in the ENBL, but has been instant impact. Great pass there by Ola, but Skinner unable to finish the bunny. But he is fouled by Salines. Skinner unable to capitalize on the first. Terrific three-point shooter, 52%. In the competition. But he is a 50% free throw shooter as he misses both. Plateau up to Onu, who flushes it. You've seen that play before if you've been following the home team. Great connection there as we're locked horns at 4-all. Justice. Ball slips out of his hands. Caffey looking to get the offense organized, but he's running out of time. Nice soft floater from 10 feet. Both teams just throwing jabs, trying to fill one another out. At this moment in time, leading scorer McGusty skips it over to Plato, who gets his pick. It's pot by Caffey. Justice back. Great offense there by Voluntari. Picture perfect transition. Foul called on the floor. You see it there off the ball on the weak side. Edler Davis just getting caught up with McGusty there as McGusty tried to come off that pin down. Only the second team foul on Voluntari. Onu. Nowhere to go. Decides to sling it, and it's nothing but the bottom of the net. Go ahead, big fella. Showing off his range as the league shrinks down to 1. Foul called off the ball. A little Spanish action there by Voluntari. Offensive foul called there. An action you'll see often from the home team. McGusty tries to line it up. And another off-ball foul there. This time on Vilcek. Not the greatest of look, but you see it there. Vilcek just getting caught up with the big fella. 6:20 remaining here in Poland. 8-7 ENBL quarterfinal playoff. Again, played aggregate style, home and away. We take the combined score, and the winner will a trip to the Final Four and an opportunity to lift a European trophy. As mentioned before, Voluntari runners-up last season, but looking to get a little bit more this year. Justice unable to connect on that one. Nice little move there. Ref call for a travel. Let's take another look at this. Yeah, just a little ambitious there by Brzezinski. Shuffled the feet. Justice flips it. Ola. Soft touch there. Observing both teams. Warszawa not as tidy or clean as the visitors, who picks up a stop, and Caffey is on the move. Ivory back down to Ola. Unable to connect with Caffey as he just mishandles it there. Usually in that tight area, you want to hand it off to the guard, but Ola deciding to bounce it, and you can tell the point guard there was expecting the handoff on that DHO. Dribble handoff, translation. Pluta. And a nice move there by Kalinda. Sweeps it in. 10-9, Voluntari, the 1-point lead. Caffey. Justice. Sharp shooter. 33%, but he gets them up often. Has the green light for this team. And another off-the-ball foul. You see it there, Kalinda knew he didn't have a chance there with Skinner as he pushes him out. And that's one thing about this Voluntari team. They have guys like Skinner who are terrific offensive rebounders, along with Ivory. And right out the gate, off the bench, Big time shot there. Lead up to 4. Pluta. Ball gets tipped around. Brzezinski. No. Sullivan enters for the first time, drops it off. Nice drop off to Skinner. Great team basketball for Voluntari. And Coach Ramula has seen enough. And that's one thing the big fella can do, can push it on the break. The home team tried to draw a charge there. Could have probably used a little bit more width. But right now, a lot of question marks about Warszawa's offense. 7 early points from EJ Anu, but other than that, Kalenda with the bucket. Welcome back to Poland. Asir Bamova. Home venue of the home team. Legia Warszawa. Again pronounced Warsaw for my English speakers. And right now, it's about the road team. Voluntari 15-9. Here in the early moments. Let's see what Coach Ramula has drawn up. Great hands there by Justice. And another transition opportunity here. But Skinner decides to slow things down. Skips it over to Justice. And that's money in the bank. And Voluntari offense looking like a well-oiled machine. As I mentioned before, #1 offense in the league. And another transition opportunity, 4-on-2 developing here. And Warszawa dodges a bullet there. It looks as though Sullivan actually, that foul was on Warszawa, the home team. As Lucas Tohatan draws a foul. Tohatan just a great quick first step. Really hard to contain on those ball screen actions. But Voluntari is in the bonus as we have 5 team fouls on Warszawa. So every whistle for the remaining 2:53 will send Voluntari to the free throw line with Tohatan splits the both. 9-point lead for the road team. I mentioned at the top of the show, keep an eye on Warszawa's offense as they just got a new head coach last week. So you expect there to be some teething problems. As Pluta draws a foul on that drive. Voluntari with 1 to give. So it'll be a sideline out of bounds. And the home team coming off a big-time victory just Saturday in the local derby against the crosstown team, Ziki. as it was a buzzer beater by McGusty that brought things home as Grzinski shows off the nice sweeping hook. Tohatan. Sullivan. Skinner. Picks up the loose change. Right place, right time. Lee Skinner. Gusty gets trips up. Leading score yet to get on the scoreboard, but Pluta hangs and finishes. Great move there by Andre Pluta. You're starting to see a little bit more momentum from Warsaw's offense. Tohatan, defense goes underneath, and an offensive rebound. Sullivan, nice little touch, passes it out. Skinner, you don't want to leave that guy open. And Lee Skinner buries it, 52% on the season from beyond the arc. And Voluntari with a double-figure lead with 1 minute to go here in the first quarter. McGusty in the corner to Pluta. And he's short. Pluta, great look there. Just kind of knows he left one on the table there. And Voluntari on the road, 48 seconds to go, an opportunity for a 2-for-1 and a chance to go into the second quarter with a double-figure lead. A little bit of pressure from the home team, from Celine's, but handled perfectly by Tohatan. Sullivan looking to get busy in the post. Lefty, hangs, fades, rims out. McGusty steps back and buries it. And that's what McGusty brings to the table. A guy that can create his own shot. A get out of jail card when the offense isn't flowing. He can create for himself. Lee shrinks to 18. Tohatan throws it up at the buzzer, and that will do it. And CSO Voluntari walks away after 10 minutes with an 8-point lead. Packed house here in Warszawa. Looking to see if their home team can go on the road to Romania with an advantage.
Ir biznesa platforma, kas apvieno būvniecības nozares speciālistus un darbojas 4 pakalpojumu sektoros – ielu kompleksa būvniecība vai pārbūve, teritorijas labiekārtošana, hidrobūvniecība, ēku būvniecība un iekšdarbi. Mēs piedāvājam skaidrus un saprotamus risinājumus ēku un inženieru būvju projektēšanā, teritorijas labiekārtošanā, dokumentu sagatavošanai, būvju nodošanai eksploatācijā un juridisko palīdzību. ENBLeague partners – stabils, profesionāls un atbildīgs partners.
Let's take a look at some first quarter highlights there. And Voluntari, everything clicking for the road team. As you see Sullivan dropping it off there. finish things off. McGusty stepping back. They're going to need more of that from their star player. They're going to overcome this deficit. Top scorers there, Skinner with 7, and Ola and Tohatan with 4. And as mentioned before, Onu with 7, and a couple of guys with 2 for the home team. 23-15 as we begin the second quarter here in Poland. We have a doubleheader here today, the second game here in the city, as Zeki was able to pull off the upset against Bamberg a little earlier. A nice little move there by Ivory, who's fouled by McGusty. And that's just his first, but Ivory will go to the line. Ivory is one of those glue guys. You'll see him crashing the glass from the corners, D'ing up, doing all the little things that you need for a winning ball club. Great pressure there. McGusty skips over to Anu, who hit one earlier. Vucic looking for a foul there. Sullivan steps around. Great hands there by McGusty. And they turn it over. What seemed like the first transition opportunity of the night for Legia Warszawa. Had numbers, had an advantage, a new under the bucket, and just an errant pass there from Salines. Ivory. Working in the middle. Nice ball movement there. I talked about the first quick step. There from Tohatan. Look at the speed as he just blows by Kawali. And he will see himself back at the line for 2. 1 for 2 on the night. Averaging 8.5 points, 3.1 assists in the competition, but has had a big game, 15 and 10 against Pleven earlier in the competition. As Voluntari sees their biggest lead of the night at 12. Gusty, great defense there, but a better pass to Kalinda, who smokes the layup but is fouled by Tohatan. And a great pass there by McGusty to see off the double team, get his eyes up the floor to see it, a teammate who had a size advantage underneath. Mikal Kalinda, the 6'8" forward, his second season, putting up a solid 10.5 points a game, 41.7% from the 3, and 90% free throw shooters. He knocks down both to go 11 for 12 in this competition. 8:27 remaining. Sullivan. This is what Sullivan's at his best here. Great pass there out of the post. But Voluntari unable to knock it down. McGusty fouled on the drive. Just take another look there. It's Pouillat. Bodied up the offensive player. And defensively, you just have to be fundamentally sound, beat that offensive player to the spot, because if there's any contact, it's a foul all day. Iverson cut from McGusty. Vucic with the ball screen. McGusty pulls up, rises. Vucic. And great effort there by the big fella to keep the ball alive. He's fouled by Sullivan, and he will go to the free throw line. And that is the effort that is needed, required in the playoffs. You have to find a way to create second opportunities for yourself. Croatian Mate Vucic joined this summer after spells in Croatia, Romania, and Slovakia. Sullivan squeezes out Vucic, and great defense by the big man. Legia with an opportunity here, with a little momentum. You see here the crowd getting into it as McGusty's fouled, and count the bucket. Cameron McGusty with a strong drive, takes the contact, hangs, and finishes. And the home team on a current 6-0 run here in the second quarter. And the building is becoming to come alive. And McGusty finishes off a three-point play. Lead shrinks down to 5. Huge defensive possession here by Warszawa. But Voluntari answers back as Ivory knocks it down from the corner. Big time shot to quiet this crowd. Game at 8. McGusty, who has the hot hand here in a second, blows by the defender and flips it up with an acrobat shot. Cameron McGusty is in his bag. What a finish. He has taken over this second quarter. Nice pocket pass there to Sullivan. Involuntary is as textbook as it gets when you talk about offensive juggernauts. 4-on-2 developing, Caffey, and he turns it over. Warszawa off to the races, Pluta, nowhere to go, flips it up and gets the hometown roll as he's having words with the referee that it might have been a little contact there. Let's take another look. And it looked like the defender was just moving back, so a good no call there by the referee. But great job by Pluta to able to create space to create a look. Let's take a break.
Arnolds apņēmās atrast labāko playlisti. Luīze steidzās, lai paspētu redzēt visu. Kaspars devās meklēt labāko ritmu, bet Mārtiņš ar Līgu viss skatāmāko pilsētā. Un kā izrādās, neierastais skan labāk par to, kas austiņās vienmēr malc uz riņķi. Un ja gudri saplāno, visu var pagūt, kaut reizēm ar nelielu nokavēšanos. Arī labākie ritmi nav tālu jāmeklē. Patiesībā tie mēdz būt deguna galā. Tikai jāatver ausis. Savukārt, ierasto skatu pa laikam ir labi iemainīt pret svaigu perspektīvu uz dzīvi. Piedzīvo neparasto Valmierā.
Welcome back to Warsaw, Poland, where we have ENBL quarterfinal playoff basketball, 3 versus 2. If you're just joining us, Warszawa, the home team. And Heiko Rumula has woken up his offense. Only 15 points there in the first quarter, but so far, 11 in the second. And we're not even halfway through. Caffey, nice hesitation. Nice rainbow, great touch there. Caffey as solid as it gets from the point guard position. A lot of ghost screens actions there that frees up Kalinda, but he's unable to knock it down. Davis slows it down. Justice. As Voluntari looks to get organized. Shot clock running down at 3, and Justice just walks his way to the basket. And I'm sure Coach Ramula can't be too happy about that defense there. Lead back up to 10. As Pluta pocket passes to Vucic, who shows off the touch. And Caffey blows by Pluta. And that's his first. The point of attack, you can't allow point guard to get downhill that easy without any resistance. Great hands there. Pluta slows it down. Another floater. Vilcek, who's unable to show off the touch. Edler Davis spins off, and he is fouled by Vilcek. You see the right hand there, the right arm bar, as that connects with the offensive player. And Maximilian seems a bit flabbergasted. But Edler Davis, nevertheless, heads to the line for 2. He's 97% from the free throw line. 29 of 30. Some terrific free throw shooters in this game here today. Mikal Kalinda, Anu finishes it up. EJ Anu on 9 points for the evening. McGusty seems to be the biggest offensive threat for the home team. But this is where they need to turn things up. Gets stops, and Justice says, "You bet not leave me open." And he buries it. Justice, volume 3-point shooter, has the green light, and that is a guy you need to forced to put the ball on the floor as Caffey picks up the foul. Warszawa is in the bonus, so Pluta will head to the line for 2. Andre Pluta, really like his game. Just unconscious there from the point guard position. Nice handle, great shot. Third leading scorer on the team at 11.2. 4.2 assists as well. Started his career in LEB Gold and has spent the last 4 seasons here in Poland. But he'll go take a seat as Kowali returns. 3:07 remaining here in the first half. It's Justice, who buried his first one to play before, and that's exactly how you have to play Cody Justice. Force him to put the ball on the floor. Great outlet pass. Vilcek unable to knock it down. Finishing quarters is crucial here in aggregate games. Can give you momentum going into the quarters, halves. So these last 2 minutes and 30 seconds is crucial. Who will win these final moments going into halftime as ball gets deflected? And Warszawa with the fast break point. Great job. Lead back down to 7. Justice. And the big fella, Ola, cleans up the mess. VOLUNTARI is showing a little pressure here. Hear the crowd there just waiting to explode. And McGusty gets stripped but fades away, and great touch there by Cam McGusty out of Miami. Team's leading scorer domestically at 20 a game. I believe we had an off-ball foul there after the shot, so if that's the case, it'll be one free throw coming for Grudzinski. I'm unsure what happened there, but Grudzinski will be shooting 2. Splits the difference. Steps back after the offensive rebound and the 4-point play the old school way. Split your free throws and step back and make a 3. As Badowski calls for time, and we will stop for a break. Highlights there. This matchup living up to the billing. I mentioned before, this game is played over aggregate. Home and away, we take the combined score. So in this situation, the home team, if you're Warszawa, you want to walk away with the win because they have to go off to Romania in a couple of weeks' time, March 18th to be exact, where not many teams have had success. VOLUNTARI, experience in this competition, been there before, as they were runner-ups last year. Looking for a little bit more. Justice backs it out from 35 feet. And Warszawa with an opportunity to tie it or take it down to the smallest league in some time. And who else but Cam McGusty, who's really stepped up in his second quarter. 11 points for him. We enter the final minute before the half, and I talked about the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds, finishing off quarters, and so far it's been for Warszawa, but Salines picks up a foul, and Justice will go to the line for 2. I think that's a good foul. Well, Justice is shooting 91% on the season, 10 for 11, so you might as well put these 2 in the bank. Flawless on the first. Justice goes and takes a break after knocking down both of the free throws. Coach Podolski subbing a little defense in there, want to protect Justice as he's sitting on 2 fouls. And that's smart coaching there. Pluta steps back, fades corner. And Voluntari can be patient on this possession. They go down to the 7-footer. Bumped, nothing called. Warszawa will hold for 1. Down in an early hole. Down as by many as 12 earlier, but an opportunity to lock things up going into the half as they go to their money man. McGusty sidesteps, bang! Cameron McGusty at the buzzer. Big time shot as he locks things up here at the Asir Bamova's arena. And what a half. Big time players stepping up in big time moments. And if you're gonna progress in this competition, your big dogs gotta come out and play. That's McGusty at the buzzer.
Valmiera glāzgrupā mēs apvienojam atbildīgu dabas resursu izmantošanu, jaunākās tehnoloģijas un vairāk kā pusgadsimtu darba pieredzes nozarē, pētot, ražojot un inovējot, lai 25 miljonus gadus vecus kvarca smilšu graudus pārvērstu stikla šķiedras produktos. Valmiera glāzgrupā mēs ražojam neticamo, lai sniegtu tev brīvību būt, kas vēlies, un paveikt jebko, pēc kā tiecies.
Welcome back to Warsaw, Poland. We have a 2 versus 3 matchup. Legia Warszawa putting themselves in an early hole, down as by many as 12, but able to rally back there, specifically in the second quarter by their star man, Cameron McGusty. 14 points there in the quarter. We end up here exactly how we started, tied. 43 all. 45 all, excuse me. We have ENBL playoff basketball. The winner of this one will play the winner out of Valmira Glasvia and Inter Bratislava. It looks like Bratislava might have one shoe in the Final Four. They have a 20-point cushion that they take back with them to Slovakia. But it's all about tonight and which one of these teams will prevail before we head back to Romania on March 18th. I will be back in the building with you. I'm your commentator, Drew Lasker. As we get ready for the final 20 minutes here. Basketball is a game of runs in an aggregate style format. You don't ever want to panic. VOLUNTARI was able to strike first there in the first quarter. And then the home team was able to rally back as we get things underway. Pluta, pocket pass, 4-on-2 here, which leaves Caffey open and knocks it down with the soft touch. Caffey with this 7-point of the evening. Pluta weaves just a little bit out of control, and he gets his second consecutive turnover. Extra pass there to Edler Davis, and great job there getting back by the home team. Pluta just a little bit careless with the basketball in the last 2 possessions. They did all that work to get back in the game, and just like that, find themselves in a 5-point hole as Sullivan buries it as he gets to start here in the second half. VOLUNTARI, I talked about their offense as they lead the competition in points scored this season, 97. McGusty, seeing if he still had the hot hand from the second quarter for Grudzinski. As we have remnants of the first quarter where the home team was just a little lethargic, discombobulated offensively. And VOLUNTARI, just like that, with a little bit more energy and momentum as Ramulitz calls for time. And just like that, a minute 30 into this one, it's a 7-point ball game as we pause for break. Welcome back to the Asir Bamova Arena, home of the Legia Warszawa, as they host the number 2 seed CSO Voluntari in the European Northern Basketball League quarterfinals series. Some history to this club, founded in 1929, but their first season in the ENBL 6-2 in Group B, which put them at 3rd place, but down as many as 12 in the first half. McGusty was able to put the team on his back and get things tied at half, but just like that, a minute 30, and Voluntari with a 7-point lead as they proceed with pressure. Pluto with 2 early turnovers here in the 3rd. Just a little careless with the basketball. Warszawa just need to tighten things up and get the ball to their money man right there, McGusty, who picks off where he left off in the first half, as he has 16 points here tonight. And a foul called there on Celine's, as he just grabbed hold of the defender there. And he will head to the bench. As Vilcek returns. Caffey. Etler Davis, and count the bucket. Great offensive set there. Just great job of sealing the smaller McGusty. And after that, McGusty doesn't stand a chance. And that's one thing about Etler Davis, is that he is very versatile. Can do a little bit of everything. And one thing he doesn't do is miss free throws, as he's 30 for 31 on the season after that make. Pluta steps back. Not a great shot. And I'm sure coach wouldn't be happy with that possession there, but if you follow Andrea Pluta, that is his game. He loves step backs and unorthodox shots. Those are shots you gotta make. Otherwise, the ball needs to be in this guy's hand right here, McGusty, who's cooking. He's in his Birkin bag here at the moment. 18 points in the evening. Killing the defense softly here tonight, and Voluntari doesn't have an answer for him. But Voluntari's offense coughs it up there. And Vilcek, and that is great hands there. Terrific transition defense by Tohatan. Look at this here. Gets his hands on the ball, doesn't give up, get back, and that is playoff basketball right there. Because in an aggregate style, every possession matters, every point matters. No possession is worth the other. That's a play that can come back later in this matchup, and you'll look at the game and you'll say, that's the play right there. Vilcek with an open look, but Tohatan, and they're going to take a look at this, and it looked like it might have been off of Vilcek. And it was, as his hands just kind of went down as gravity took over, and that should be CSO Voluntari's ball. And if so, that's the 3rd turnover this quarter for the home team. And a very easy call there by the referee as they go and take a look at that to get it right. And that's a play that coaches will clip up and show to their teams that in transition, you can't give up on a play. Great job by Tohatan. Caffey steps around. Ball rims out, but he gets his own offensive rebound. And Vashava's just a little sleep here as Toatan draws a foul on McGusty. And if that's on McGusty, just out of position there on the drive from McGusty. And that will be his third. He's trying to explain himself to the rest, but as we saw there on the replay, just never got his body in front. And that could be costly as Toatan returns back to the line. Well, he's been busy this evening. 4 for 5 for 7 points. Make it 8. Lead up to 8. Vashava going to their bench. Onu, and he's stripped by Sullivan. Gets his pockets picked. And Voluntari might be in business here as Caffey playing ball screen action with Sullivan. Extra pass. Bang! And that's great defense, which translates to even better offense as Skinner buries it from the corner. And Voluntari are relentless with it as Skinner knocks it down. We will take a break. What will coach be saying there in that timeout? Can't be too happy with this third quarter effort. Turnovers leading into offense. And again, I mentioned it before, we'll mention it again, 97 points a game. That was the narrative at the top of the show, is how does Vashava slow down the league's best offensive team? We don't per se have a superstar. They just have a collection of solid talent. And the lead is back to 11. McGusty gets his pocket picked. What a pass! And Sullivan is fouled. Wow. Gotta see that again. McGusty gets stripped. And Edler Davis with the behind the back pass on the money. Sullivan is fouled. Wow. Everything clicking for Voluntari, and the away fans at home, they got to enjoy that one. I'm sure they are. In the wee hours in Romania. Sullivan, the team's leading scorer, 16.8 a game. Usually comes off the bench, but coach wasting no time, starting him in the second half, and the team is reaping their awards as McGusty draws the contact. And McGusty has been a thorn in Voluntari's side all evening. You see Edler Davis just grabbing the waist of the Katy, Texas native. That was actually called on the floor. As Onu winds it up, and he's 1 for 3 from beyond the arc this evening. And Voluntari with an opportunity for their biggest lead of the evening. currently at 12. And one thing they will do is continue to run their offense. It's Caffey, but great hustle again by Sullivan, and Voluntari just doing all the little things. They are winning the 50-50 ball in the effort plays battle here tonight. And that's what the playoffs is about. There's a collection of film on every team, so you know their sets. And it becomes about those little plays. Which team is willing to put their body on the line? And so far as Voluntari here in his third quarter, as McGusty takes the contact and count the bucket. Cameron McGusty has just been unguardable here in the last 15 minutes. Trying to will his team to victory. Funny enough, this is a guy that I first met in the gym when he was a freshman in high school. And I knew then he had talent, but unable to make the second. As the lead is down to 10. Caffey. Back down to Sullivan. Excuse me, Skinner, as he turns it over there. And again, McGusty's fouled again. I mean, if his teammates come out to play, they can be on to something. 20 points here in the first half, 9 of 12 from the field. Fouled 5 times. Pluta dances behind the ball screen. Defender goes underneath, and Pluta's able to sting him. And those are the type of plays that Pluta needs to make if the home team's gonna squeeze out a win here tonight. Justice, who's been quiet here in the third quarter, but wakes up there with that nice pump fake and up and under. Beautiful bucket. (63-54), Voluntari leads. And that is just Kawali, excuse me. You gotta just take your time. Celine's is 6'8", you just gotta throw that over the top to where he can just fall underneath it. And again, I talked about his first step earlier. Tohatan, just terrific at getting downhill. Plays on the national team. Dan Romania, a high-tempo guard. And I mean, what a terrific backup for Caffey. Splits the difference. Pluta, who hit his last 3. Vucic, back out. Celine's, it rims out. Tohatan. Back off the ball screen. Great defense there by Warsaw. Pluta fakes it. A late whistle. foul actually was off the ball. There as Vucic is on the line. You see unorthodox free throw, a jump shot, but hey, whatever works. Mata Vucic able to knock down both. Lead back down to single finger. As Justice, and I mean, if you're gonna give him that kind of space, that's a shot he can make in his sleep. Pluta with a little hezzy, floats it up and hits him with a teardrop. And Pluta beginning to wake up. That's just a high-level move right there. High-level touch. And again, that's when Pluta's at his best, when he's just playing free. But again, McGusty just looking for a little help offensively. And Pluta's one of those guys that can rise to the occasion as he misses the free throw. And Ivory just kind of walks his way to the basket. And that's the second time tonight that Warszawa's defense has just been non-existent, where we've seen a guy just kind of walk to the basket, but a great job by Vucic answering back. 1:30 here remaining in the third. Justice, and he's 2 for 2 from that spot. Cody Justice, another guy who can light it up. And another wild turnover by Pluta. And Skinner just finishes it with the left hand. And that's 3 turnovers by Andre Pluta here in the third quarter. Takes a faded 3. Vilcek steps around and he's off. I'm not sure about that possession there. In a high stakes matchup, where you're down by 12 points, I'm not sure those are the type of shots that Heiko Ramula is searching for. Time running down here, and another turnover by Warszawa. Again, just unexcusable. You gotta be sharper. Again, Voluntari is just going to be textbook in everything that they do as Justice unloads. And Vilcek off to the races. Great play there. And Voluntari can hold for 1. Justice has been the hot hand this evening. Eller Davis, patience. Ivory over the hand. And that'll do it. That will wrap up the third quarter as Voluntari won by 10, 27-17, as we were tied at half.
Slovakia. If the future on the Danube doesn't surprise you, then you will be surprised by the past or the present and its plentiful flavors. Be surprised by the easternmost Gothic cathedral oriental spas, and historic strolls. And if you're not surprised by the UFO above a bridge, for sure you'll be surprised that I'm telling you. Slovak cities will surprise you.
Welcome back to Asir Bomova's Arena in Warsaw, Poland, as we enter the fourth and final quarter, or as I like to call, money time. And what an evening for the city of Warsaw, who saw 2 home games this evening as Ziki Warszawa hosted their quarterfinal earlier today, picked up a 21-point victory over the German squad. And across town, we have the 3rd seed, Legia. Warszawa, 6-2 on the season, losing out to Inter Bratislava and Bamberg earlier in the season. And the visitor CSO Voluntari, 6-2 as well, but the 2nd seed in Group A, as they lost out to the Newcastle Eagles and Valmira Glasvia earlier this year. Well, the road team will start with it. And if we're following the script, in the first half, it was the home team who struck in the 2nd quarter, and it was this guy right here, Cameron McGusty, who throws it down. Lead down to 8. Home team needed a huge 10 minutes here. You don't want to go on the road with a huge deficit, and they get their stop. Luther with 4 turnovers there in the 3rd quarter, looking to get his team organized. Sees McGusty on the back end, and what a pass by Pluta. Connects with the young fella, Cameron McGusty, who has 24 points on the night. Caffey. Nice little roll there. Justice gets in the paint, flips it up, and it falls. Cody Justice says, wait 1 minute. Able to stop the bleeding there. Crowd cheering for the home team. And a great backdoor cut there by Vilcek. And a terrific start by the home team. As we enter the final 8 minutes. Caffey. Ola on the ball screen. He gets the switch, gets the matchup he likes. High rainbow and great defense there. And McGusty. And a great foul there by Cody Justice just to slow the hot man down. And just like that, this game has been about runs. The first quarter, it was Voluntari. Second quarter, it was, hey, it's your turn, home team. And then the 3rd quarter went back to Voluntari. And now the 4th, it looks like it's Warszawa's turn. And the same play again on the backside. And Celine's able to hammer it home. The same exact play. Great short roll there by Vucic, who hits the cutting Celine's. Who rises over the 7-footer. I'm pretty sure that'll be in his highlight package. Not many times you get an opportunity to flush over a 7-footer, but unable to connect on the free throw. And we have a 4-point game, ladies and gentlemen, as Voluntari tries their pocket pass, and Sullivan says, count the bucket. And both teams struggling in ball screen coverage, as the big man on both sides doing a great job of reading the defense, making a great play, making the right play, whether that's a soft touch in the middle of the rim or pass to a cutting teammate. And Sullivan, who is perfect from the line, crowd chanting for the home team. Voluntari, better defense there from the ball screen action, and they get a stop. Caffey. And Tohatan. Caffey shakes loose, steps around and floats it over the footer. Outstretched hands of Vucic. Voluntari on a 5-0 run. Both of these teams slugging it out. Pluta hesitates. In great hands there by Sullivan. CSO Voluntari with the 9-point lead with 6:30 remaining here in this one. McGusty able to see off the double team, and what a pass by Cameron McGusty as he connects with Salines. And McGusty is just showing off the whole repertoire here tonight, as he has a solid stat line of 24 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. And Pluta comes up with it. Huge possession here as Pluta weaves around, and he's fouled by Sullivan. He's starting to see the fatigue creep up on both teams. And Sullivan just there with the reach there. You just want to be disciplined. Stay in that drop coverage. Play with width, make the offensive player take the long right around. Get the wet floor taken care of. McGusty, who's been terrific this evening. They're throwing everything but the kitchen sink at him, and he's just showing off his elusiveness. Just able to escape out these doubles, just stepping around, using the length of that 6'6" frame. First time in history that these teams have matched up. Is living up to every little bit of it. Again, the winner of this one, see Valmira Glass or Bratislava. Bratislava with the early 20-point lead as they take it back to Slovakia. Over the top as Onu flushes it down. And again, who's on the end of that is Cameron McGusty. Just carrying the team on his back. But Etler Davis able to quiet the crowd just there for a split second. Gusty. A nice spin move there. Brzezinski, but it rims out. Great defense there by McGusty. I've talked about him doing it all this evening, getting it done on the defensive end as well. McGusty steps back, pulls back. And this time, greatly defended by Voluntari. Caffey splits, gets to the bucket, count the bucket. Mike Caffey just doing a great job to lull the defense asleep there and just hit him with the push cross. Blows by Brzezinski. Just a great move there. .75% free throw shooter. Will look to get 3 out of this possession. And does. Voluntari showing pressure. Gusty steps around with a long step, but that was tipped by Edler Davis and the home team looking for goaltending, but they won't get it. The ball looked like it was on its way down there. Caffey escapes the pressure. That's an offensive foul. You see the push in the back there by Sullivan as he tried to slip the screen, but kind of extends both of the arms there in the back of the Warszawa defender. And Pluta lead down to 10. The home team with some work to do in this last 3:30. And another offensive foul. This time it's on Vucic. Again, you see it right there. You got to be set. Refs all around the globe have made that call very frequently. Voluntari were there in the bonus. Sullivan steps back and probably could have got a better look there, especially when they're in the bonus. And McGusty spins, takes the contact, and McGusty is up to 26 for the night. And he gets the steal as well. And he's fouled as Time tries to stop the momentum there, but as they're in the bonus, that's the 16th foul on Voluntari. Gusty gets a trip to the line where he adds to his total 27 on the night. Looked like he asked for a sub there, but if I'm coach, I'm telling him you got to suck it up. 28 on the night, and he will get his much deserved. I'm sure it won't be for too long. You see it there, timeout. And don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Warszawa, Poland. It's Legia Warsaw, the third seed, hosts CSO VOLUNTARI here in the ENBL quarterfinal playoffs. So we have aggregate basketball. We enter the final 249 here. If you're the home team, you must be mindful that it is 40 more minutes to be played in Romania, so you don't want to panic. You don't need to try to get it all in one play, and most importantly, you don't want to do anything silly. Huge possession here. As Justice just blows by, wraps it around Sullivan, smokes it, but able to put it back with the second effort. Eight-point lead. Leading scorer Magusti on the bench, and I'm not sure why the home team didn't try to make a play on the ball. They had a foul to give, and just like that, the lead's back to 10. Just not smart. And Justice rises and finishes it. And waving to the crowd as VOLUNTARI pushes the lead to 12. And the home team calls for time. And I think it was a huge error by the home team, as that man right there, Cameron Gusty, was on the line for a three-point play, called for a sub. But coach called a timeout, and I think if he could redo that all over again, he would have just used that timeout and said, give me 3 more minutes, kid. Because as you see here on the highlight reel, he's on the end of every single play. And as soon as he goes out to get a breather, VOLUNTARI goes on a 6-0 run. Turnovers for the home team, and right when you were in striking distance, 6 points, 6 to 8 points is within striking distance to take on the road. Anything more than that, you're really asking for a lot. See what they do here. Ten on the clock. Pluta rises up in a big-time shot by Andre Pluta. And the lead shrinks down to 9. Huge defensive play here by the home team. Seconds on the clock as Sullivan bulldozes his way inside, and he's stripped. Numbers here. Don't decide to take advantage, but Vucic with an advantage here. Kicks it out, extra pass, Magusti. Steps back. And boy, did they need that. Forced into a tough shot, but 12 for 17 on the evening, so you got to live with it. But Justice, on the other hand, wraps it around to Sullivan, turns it over. Another transition opportunity here. Pluta decides to get organized, go into Gudzinski, and it's an offensive foul. Just uses the off arm, that right hand to push off on that defender. Iron Eyes Bogowski calls for time. Interesting enough, Voluntari with the 2-for-1 opportunity. It's Legia Warszawa with the wasted opportunity there. Wadowski has up his sleeve here. If you're Warszawa, you need a stop. Currently down 9. As we take the second leg back on the road to Romania. March 18th. We have a triple header that day. A lot of questions will be answered then. Justice. Looked like they were trying to go for the 2-for-1 opportunity. Didn't get it, but Sullivan unwinds and he hits it. Sullivan. Wow, 12-point lead here with 20 seconds to go. You don't want to panic if you're Warszawa. Spins, nearly turns it over. 3 seconds is a new. And another offensive foul on Grudzinski. In the last 2 minutes, Legia Warszawa has just fell apart. That is the worst case scenario because that means Skinner will head to the line for 2 freebies. Boy, what a change of events. Warszawa on the break, down 9, with an opportunity to get it down to 7 or 6. Instead, turns it over. We look forward, and it could be possibly a 14-point lead. No timeouts here. And you got to get a shot up. And they're not going to get a shot up. Wow. They are not going to attempt a shot. And that just sums up things here in Poland. As the road team, the number 2 team, CSO Voluntari, comes in and takes care of business after Cameron McGusty's 28 points. But it wasn't enough. 95 points on the road, 2 points under their season average. And Warsaw in a deep, deep hole as they head back to Romania on March 18th. Wow. And that'll do it. From the capital, 95-81. 14-point win for CSO Voluntari. Second leg, March 18th. Triple header that day. Make sure that you stay locked in with the ENBL YouTube channel so you don't miss a dribble. But until then, thanks for joining me. Drew Lasker here. and I'll see you next time. Good evening and good night.